Hey everyone, and welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday live broadcast brought to you here by Frontline Gaming. We are your hosts, Kicker, the Chief of Serial and Sigilite of the FLG, and I'm Seth the Mad Dog, your competitive correspondent. Kicker, bud, how you been doing?
I am doing swell, guys. Just want to remind you, it is a live show every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You get the cool visual elements, but more importantly, get to hop into chat, especially tonight. We got a
Chat is
very
rocking already.
You're right. Yeah, the chat is hopping right now. We got a very important guest tonight, so stay tuned for that. But yes, Seth, I have had a busy week, hobbying like a madman. Can we show my hobby progress? Can we bring that up real fast?
Nope, delete his hobby
Yeah, right.
progress.
My
Delete it.
son is obsessed with Jawas, so I took some Necromunda Ash Waste Nomads and I painted them up to look exactly like Jawas. And now I'm happy. My son's happy. It's super geeky, but there's also a functional purpose, right? In the current Aston Militarum Army, you got several types of guard infantry, and you have shock troops, you have death corps. Well, these are my I've got a lot of shock troops, but I wanted one or two squads of these Jawas to represent my basic infantry units, the ones with the heavy weapons.
It.
And then below that, I got Scions. If you were at LVO, you probably saw me asking for your breachers, begging for your breachers. Yes, Seth, I definitely asked you for your breachers from that giant kill team box and the high roller box. So
you did.
Yeah, the high roller package. Those are my Scions. Those are just the Navy breachers painted up to look cool and badass and whatnot. Seth, though, what have you been up to, man? I know you're busy.
Yeah, I've been plugging along with the Orc collection, working on getting that up, painted and updated some more. I got myself another Garot Mega Tank painted up. This was a 3D print that I got as a gift at LVO. And then I got some more Storm Boys painted up. So I'm slowly chugging away on those.
Dude,
so
that is a nice looking tank right there. I see so few of those. So it's like Grot Mega Tank.
Yeah. So that's actually a 3D print, a third party one. I think that's from Gear Gut.
Cool.
But I got it as a gift at LVO. So painted it up and it went together pretty quick. So I was pretty happy with it.
We should ask our beloved tech priest Dickie in the background what he's been working on, because we know he's been extremely excited about a few recent releases. Oh, there we go. Wow.
What are these things? These angry looking boys.
Spiky worldly
angry
boys.
Spiky boys. Huh.
Yeah. I've been really taking my time enjoying this whole process. So I'm slow.
No.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Tech Priest, I have to ask you, have you had any hobby setbacks recently?
This story. Yeah, my dog ate
oh shit.
Some models.
Oh shit.
So I originally built Lord Avocado, and my dog ate him. So I had to rebuild the Juggerlord.
So were you eating like a cheeseburger and you had like cheeseburger residue that had gotten onto models, or what happened there?
He just loves the taste of super glue. I don't know what it is.
He just like plastic and super glue, baby.
He just likes getting high. All right, great.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, hey guys, Seth, I think it's now's appropriate, right? Let's bring in our guest, right?
Yeah.
Guys, you know him, you love him. This is Reese Robbins, the CEO of Frontline Gaming. He is my boss, he's my buddy, and he is one of the original hosts of this very podcast you're listening to, Signals from Frontline. Reese, how you doing, buddy?
Good, thank you for having me. And to everybody watching, if it looks like I'm having some sort of a fit or seizure and looking at ghosts, it's because my camera is not aligned with the screen. I just I upgraded to the ultra wide, and it turns out my camera does not fit on it. So forgive me for that.
No worries.
We're just trying to avoid a video mishap mostly.
Oh, well. So Reese and his business partner Frankie formed Frontline Gaming well over 10 years ago, and now the little company has grown, and we have events across the country. We have quite a few products, but Reese is going to be hopping in throughout the episode to comment on a few things, but especially about the responses from the LVO 2023 survey. We'll be getting that later in the episode, but because we have Reese right now on air, we have to ask him, Reese, what is your favorite sugary breakfast cereal? The internet has to know. Zero. Okay, you can't see that shit, man. You can't. Like the rules of the game are you have to say a cereal.
I mean, is that the worst answer we've got though?
No.
I think the worst, we've had granola and like a bowl of bacon before. Like those are the worst. I think.
Duncan Rhodes said his favorite cereal was a bowl of bacon, I believe, which is
a bowl of bacon. Is that like a British thing or something?
I have no idea. All right. Reese is going to choose to pass on the cereal question. But Reese, feel free to chime in as we hop into all the fun stuff we're talking about over the next 30 minutes.
Kicker, I think, did you have a new favorite cereal?
Okay. So a beloved friend of ours, Jeremy up from Canada, brought me a box of cereal at LVO. This was, bear with me. I think it's called Tim Hortons
Tim
Yeah,
Bit
Timbits.
Tim Bits.
cereal.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Timbits
Yeah.
cereal.
I knew that would upset the
Yeah,
Canadian.
you gotta do it right.
Sorry, guys. Timbit cereal. This was a novel experience. I've never had Canadian cereal before, and I gotta say, America, the United States of America is known for the sugar breakfast cereal, but Canada's bringing
They
the
got
bringing
nothing
the heat
on
with this
us.
Timbits.
Yeah.
Like this was a birthday cake cereal, and I've had quite a few birthday cake cereals, and this one was
Yep.
amazing. I mean, it
Oh,
had
yeah.
myself, my wife, and my son all battling for the damn box of cereal. So thank you so much, Jeremy, for that wonderful that wonderful gift. John Oates from the UK also brought a beautiful cereal from the UK, which was amazing. But I gotta say that the Timbits was the winner for the weekend. All right, let's jump into some industry news. Let's start off with the GW product releases. This weekend, you get that brand new Kill Team box. It's got the Arbides, you say them, whatever the hell you want to call them. I could care less. The Cops and the Dark Eldar. They're going up for pre-order this weekend. It's a Kill Team box set. It looks amazingly badass. Those, let's just call them Arbides. Reese, you are the expert here. What do we call them?
I always call them Arbites, but I'm sure there's a linguist nerd in the chat that will tell you the Latin pronunciation.
I want to say they just did a pronunciation video on the Warhammer community page, and I think they went with Arbides.
It's Robuti. Okay.
Yeah.
Rubuti.
They did say that it was Robute.
Can we phone a friend of
it's
this
neither
one?
of those. But if anybody wants to listen to an amazing podcast that I was lucky enough to do with Total Biscuit and In Control before they passed away, we did a 40K live role play, and I actually played an Adeptus Arbites,
Oh, nice.
Arbites, or whatever, or Adeptus Diabetes, and it like for one, I had no business being there because they're like infinitely more talented than I am, but for two, I was saved by amazingly bad luck. Like I was like, okay, Mike is gonna kick in the door. He's gonna go in and arrest these cultists, and it's like critical failure. I'm like, it's amazing, and it was a really cool experience to be with those that like hyper talented crew. So I feel like the Adeptus Arbites have always been my favorite part of the lore, and GW loves to throw their weight around and like talk about people infringing on their IP, and I'm like, all right, Judge Dredd. Like, give me a break, dude.
Well, now you can get them in beautiful plastic in the brand new Soul Shackle box that's going up for pre-order this weekend. You can build them not only as a special squad, but you can also use them as a generic squad of enforcers, which is pretty badass. And you're also getting the new the individual box sets for Kroot, those car skins, which everyone's been chasing down those guard car skins or car skins. The new elite troopers. Yeah, those things are hard to get until they go up for pre-order now. But those are the I guess the MVP of the current guard codex. And what else? Oh yeah, the Navy Breachers. So they're all going up for individual pre-order this weekend. And of course, most of them, I think all of them have rules for 40K, including the new Arbites, Cops, whatever you want to hell to call them. They're going to have rules for 40K.
Space Cops.
Space Cops. Let's call it, right? Oh, and fan favorite Tomb Kings are coming to the old world. They have been formally announced. So the old world, we still have a year or so to wait for that. But we know Tomb Kings, those are those, mummy Egyptian skeleton horde kind of guys. They will be in the new / old world fantasy game that's going to be released. So yay for that. And
I'm sure whatever guy burned his army at the end of 8th edition, the Tomb King army is real sad right now.
Yeah, right. Ah, crap.
He's like, I should have saved him.
And Blood Bowl continuously getting love from GW with this brand new halfling, like I guess box set. It looks like there's a person holding a pie and then a little chubby dude. I don't know, whatever. They're halflings. They're Blood Bowl. They're cool. You gotta like these guys.
He is holding a pie.
He's holding a pie.
It's a she. She's got some sort of baked good, and then the guy's got a hoagie on a stick as a weapon. I don't know if that's much of a weapon.
The pies explode, guys.
Oh, the pies explode clearly.
This is like pies brought to you by Acne or Acme.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, Acme. No, I man, the Blood Bowl models are always fun. I can't find a way to use them in 40K. Like I'm always trying to think of how I can use these for conversion fodder, and they're surprisingly difficult.
Your army does not march on an empty stomach.
Oh, there we go. We just have the chef in the back. All right, love it. Hell yeah. And lots of buzz about the new Shatterpoint. This is the new Legion skirmish game that's getting a lot of hype. It's not out yet. It's up for pre-order. You should definitely check it out. We will have it at all Frontline Gaming events as soon as it is.
This is a Star Wars.
This is a
thinking, right?
Star Wars
This
game.
this game is going to be all-star material. It's Star Wars IP, MCP style rules and scale and quality of miniatures. And for anybody that hasn't played Marvel Crisis Protocol or MCP, it's one of the best miniatures games I've ever played. I play it. I used to play it frequently, but I haven't had time to play much of anything in the last few months. So I have a feeling this game is going to be like 11 out of 10, right?
Nice.
Like the guys who made MCP are the best game development minds from War Machine. MCP is brilliant, and the models are gorgeous. So I'm anticipating that this is going to absolutely explode. If you could play Cody and Ahsoka and Anakin, like, come on, man, like this is going to be huge.
I mean, if we can get a Chewbacca in there, I'm sold, right? Like, if you can play as Chewbacca, I'm 100% in. That's all I need. And Reese, correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of guys at the office are playing MCP, right? Like, that's the game of choice right now at Frontline Gaming HQ, right?
It was, and then the regular gaming group. So there's the hardcores that play only 40K, and then there's a branch of us that play other games as well. But those guys are like, they were playing Necromunda for a long time, and now they're playing 3.5 D&D. So I'll wait for them to come back to fickle winds of their, views to bring them back to MCP.
Nice. Seth, I'm throwing the ball up to you or Tech Priest Dicky here. We need our jank of the week. Do we have any really cool new rules, ideally from world leaders that we want to kind of show off? Anything kind of janky?
That's all Tech Priest.
Yeah,
you got something for us, dude?
Okay. I know it's been talked about a million times, but it just really makes me happy.
Do it.
Lord Avocado, pregame move, 11 inches, 8-bound units, who then you roll for first turn because you're a World Eater player, so obviously you're going first.
Of course.
Then you move another 11 inches, and then you charge, and then you win the game.
Guaranteed turn one charge with the World Eaters.
Yeah.
All right.
What's wrong with that,
player,
right? That's a fair and balance.
I'm very sad.
We want to jump really into fast into the FLG event news, guys. If you won an LVO RTT, there were RTTs on Friday and Saturday. We've gotten, there's a ton of people that played in those. Your prize support, your gift cards have been emailed out to you. Check your spam, please. But let's talk about upcoming stuff. Cherokee, the Cherokee room block is totally sold out for the second time. So yeah, we added more rooms. It's sold out. So Cherokee, guys, to kind of basically just tell you, it's massive. It's going to be a very big event. Make sure you don't miss out. There'll be dinner in the hall both Friday and Saturday. We're going to be sending out a survey, or I guess a questionnaire in the next week or so, kind of saying, hey, are you going to join us for dinner on Friday or Saturday? So we know roughly, how much food to make and how many seats we need to get in there. We're looking at 270 plus for 40K, over 80 players for Age of Sigmar, and tickets are still selling. So it's a super
kicker. We have a ticket-related question that was earlier in chat. I was saving for this moment. I believe an individual has a 40K ticket that they were looking to exchange for an AOS ticket.
Ooh.
Has the refund deadline passed?
The refund deadline, I believe, has passed. But shoot me an email at events@frontlinegaming.org, and I can give you a specific answer for that. I do know that there's still a few more. Is that a cat's tail in your face?
Yes, it is. It is very much a cat. As a veterinarian, I confirm that is a cat.
You work on birds, but I guess you can tell that's a predator in a bird. So yeah.
You doubting me, kicker?
Yeah, I'm not doubting you. Let's talk about Rocky.
Look at it. Look at the kitty.
There's a cat. Beautiful cat. Reese, please introduce your feline friend, please.
That would be Panda, aka Bandit.
Bandit. Nice. Very, very cool.
Sounds appropriate.
It's very appropriate. So we got Panda joining us on air live tonight as well, guys. Rocky Mountain Open is totally sold out. This is the event in March 11th in Denver, Colorado. Sorry if you missed it, guys. That event, somebody returns their ticket. We might throw another one back in the web cart, but that event as of right now is completely sold out, both Age of Sigmar, 40K, and Star Wars Legion. So yeah, that's going to be a very fun event. But yes, guys, you got to get those tickets as soon as they go live. Now, BAO is in May. And that's also starting to really fill up. We still have tickets available, but that event will probably sell out.
Now we have a super chat to address.
Super chat
from this. I'm going to say the name because it's important for Reese. It's Eula Sanders. Super chatted. Can you ask Reese when he's going to start playing Tau?
Reese, got to answer the question.
When hell freezes over, baby.
Hold on there, Reese, because I do believe I've seen a FLG promotional ad about the game mats where you were shoving Tau models around.
Yeah, that was more of a case of what models did we have handy that were pretty.
Sounds like an excuse to me, but
He
It was,
sounds like
it
a
was an
budding,
inside joke too.
budding
I
Tau
was
player there, I think.
like, this will be funny.
Seth, actually, why don't we talk about the FLGN? What's happening on the FLGN this week?
Oh God, what happened this week? So the Grim After Dark crew got back at it. They were off the last week because they were still traveling home from LVO. And they had a very long episode, just kind of riffing with Sir Val, and then Adam Camilleri basically is at Sir Val's house and just hanging out. So he upped in there too. Now, Kicker, I sent this to you pre-show. I don't think we've actually told Reese about it yet, but I encourage you. I believe we're going to be putting it at the end of this show as well. But our lovely friend Steve Joel recorded a 3.5-minute cover of "With Arms Wide Open," but as Arcs of Omen.
It is perfect. It's perfect.
It
will
is
make you cry.
amazing.
I mean,
and they finally let that cat out of the bag on Grim this week, and it was perfection.
So stay tuned after the end of our episode to enjoy the vocals of Steve Joel.
I'm now literally like, how can we get Steve at an event to do a live concert for us?
He should just start making more 40K covers.
Yeah.
I love it.
Steve is a treasure, man. Like, did you guys know that he's a professional radio broadcaster and that he used to call the games for the All Blacks? When the All Blacks is the New Zealand's rugby team, and they're like the best in the world. And he was like the John Madden for the All Blacks.
You can also find old videos of him in a children's show where he had plastic hair.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like it's like a wig, but it's plastic, and you're just like,
oh my gosh,
Godspeed. So I figured if he did that, he could probably do a cover song. But it is
totally.
quite entertaining. In other not making fun of Steve Joel news, he did release his audio show podcast this week with interviews of every single winner of the LVO, which a lot of those were pre-records before LVO that Dickie helped him with. And then he, of course, did an interview with Jack after the event. So we now have all of those winners in a single show. And Panda is extremely excited about this.
Dude, it was one of the, I mean, it was an amazing podcast. Like one of the better ones I've listened to. It was kind of a cool walk down memory lane, getting to know who won LVO, what motivated them. And then, of course, ending with Jack, our new reigning champ. So, yeah, very good.
But that is everything that's going on with the network. So I think it's time to hand the reins over to the OG himself.
Yeah, Reese. So we're having you here to kind of give us, I guess, you've gone through all the responses from the LVO 2023 survey. You have some insight into, why things happened as the way they did. What you think we're going to be doing for 2023? Just take it away, man. This is your show here.
Yeah, it's good to be back. So part of growing and improving is to always ask for customer feedback, and it's something that we did pretty much for every event that we ever ran. And then post-COVID, we kind of fell out of it a little bit because we were just knocking the rust off. But this year we made sure to jump back in and get feedback from the people that actually came to the Las Vegas Open. Big thanks to John, aka Salty John. He actually wrote the survey. I'm glad he did. Having a third party write it. It was also intimately involved and aware, but is not a stakeholder. I think it's the better way to do it. I used to write them in the past for every game system, but having someone that's not emotionally invested into the company, I think, gives better results. So just want to say thank you for that. So quick overview. We're not going to go through every single thing on it. A lot of it's not pertinent to the podcast. A lot of it's like, give us your opinion. Obviously, due to the volume of feedback, it's not realistic to go in and read every person's response. Some of them are silly anyway, so people take the chance for humor, which is fun, but we read all of them. So even if you don't hear your feedback, that doesn't mean that it wasn't ignored. We really, really value this information, and we use it to make decisions on how we're going to continue to improve and bring everybody the event that they want, because that's what we're here to do. That's our job. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump in. The first question is really interesting. I mean, they're all interesting, but the first one is a good data point. And it's how many events, FLG or otherwise, did you attend in the 2022 season? And almost 50% of the participants went to 5 or more events, including obviously the Las Vegas Open. And excuse me, just for clarity, this is only for the 40K Championships event. This isn't the whole Las Vegas Open event, just to be specific. So I think that's interesting because in days of yore, you didn't see that. You didn't see people going to 5 or more events in a year. There wasn't even 5 GTs in the whole country. So it's a testament to how much things have grown. And the next question builds on that, and it's how many events with 50 or more participants did you attend? And a third of the attendees went to 5 or more events with 50 or more participants. So that's really encouraging, and it's really interesting to see how many people are going to big events, right? Like the ITC was built with the specific purpose in mind to drive engagement in the match play community. And I'm not going to say the ITC is the only reason that things have grown, but it's certainly a contributing factor, a major contributor. And it's just really cool to see that many people that went to 5 or more 50 plus person events, because the only way to do that, unless you live, I don't know, in a major metro or you're just lucky to have tons of events, you have to travel to get to them. So it's very encouraging. It's really cool. The rest of the field was distributed pretty evenly. The next biggest group was 1. In the past, what we found analyzing ITC data was that the average ITC participant went to 1 event, maybe 2. Like the vast majority of participants went to 2 events in the whole year. So this is a huge, huge step forward. People are more engaged, they're going to more events. And personally, I think that's super exciting, right? So like the hard work that everybody's been doing, not just us, but all the participating events and TOs and content creators and everybody else, it's working, right? Like everyone should be proud of themselves.
The community is growing massively.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just cool, right? Like before, when I just got going in the hobby, you made the pilgrimage to Adepticon, and that was it, And then the Nova Open and the VAO kind of came on the scene within a year of each other, and that was sort of prior to that, there was nothing. There was GWGTs in days of yore, but they were kind of wonky. And Adepticon was it. It was the only independent event. So now we're in a situation where there's a major every weekend, which in the old days, a 60-person event was huge.
Yeah.
It was like there was 3 in the whole country. So
I mean, just for reference, we literally have a show now that is based off of covering the big events coming in the weekend. Like you couldn't have done that 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, it's genuinely insane how much things have grown. And on that note, like the ITC participation in this year is astounding. How much it's like double from where it was pre-COVID, right? Like it's crazy. So it's working, and that's great, right? So it's great to see that people are having fun and engaging in the community and playing games, because that's why we did this in the first place. So it's exceeded all expectations. The next question, this one's not super pertinent, but we can jump into it because it's a talking point for what we're doing in the future. Just some of these questions are just for administrative purposes, but it's how many FLG events did you attend in the 2022 season? And there's a pretty even distribution. Obviously, LVO is a big one, clearly. But interestingly, the second biggest, or actually the highest respondent question was the Las Vegas team tournament.
Yeah.
And like almost 50% of respondents went to that event.
People love team tournaments, man.
They do.
Yeah. So one of the most common questions that I get, and Kicker, since you're the man with events, I'm sure you get it more than I do, is, what's up with the team event? And like we definitely want to bring it back. We just have to get a different venue. And Kicker, you could extrapolate on that better since you're in the you're the captain of the ship.
Yeah, I mean, Frontline Gaming is 100% committed to doing at least one team event a year. This year's a little weird. There's some personal stuff that's taking place in September. Seth, I don't. I guess I should just say it. My wife's currently pregnant. I guess I should probably not say this, and she's doing September, that's impacting my own personal ability to be on site in September. But we do have some amazing community members who've stepped up, saying, "Hey, like we can try and help make this event happen." I mean, Frontline Gaming is of the community for the community, right? And just because I can't be there, we got backup, we got people, we got community members. So what?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we had a big super chat.
Okay, let's hear that. So we're super
John
chat.
McCardrell did a $99.99 super chat. Had a blasted LVO first GT I went to since the 2005 Chicago GT. Thanks for the super well run event.
Oh, dude, thank you so much, man. Like I don't know if I got to meet you in person.
So we had a guy that was out of the hobby for 17, 18 years. And going to events and hop back in for the LVO, like good on you, John.
And I was telling Reese we had a company call earlier this day, and I mean I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it. But I've been getting basically 3 or 4 emails every day, and we're almost like 2 weeks since the LVO. Since the LVO, just from people randomly. I have no idea who they are, but they're like, I went to the LVO. It was the first big event I went to. I'm a Frontline Gaming fan for life. I had so much fun at the LVO. This was my, I haven't been playing tournaments ever, but I went to this one. I had so much fun. Or we've also got people that is like, I've been to going to tournaments nonstop, and I went to LVO this year, and this was a blast. Like that's the way events should be run. So that feedback is tremendously, beneficial to me through those emails, but putting it in the survey has been really helpful. And then the super chat by this gentleman here, like, just thank you, man. Like
that was wild, man. Thanks.
It means a lot, it really, really, really does. And we're trying our damnedest to keep on making it only better each year. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, we do definitely want to do a team event. We're going to try and do one this year, but we guarantee we'll be doing one in 2024 if we can't pull it off this September. Reese, did you get any other? I mean, like what other do you know what the other event was that was really popular? Was another one that a lot of people went to from our survey?
Yeah, second most common was SoCal Open.
SoCal Open, yeah, cool.
Yeah, and congratulations, buddy.
I was gonna. My bet was gonna be ACO, but
you should. If it's another boy, you should call him Acorn.
Acorn.
Come on, he's got oak. He's got to go with elm.
Yeah,
well, he's got to be like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. It's got to be a tree. Yeah. For those of you that don't know, my son name is Oak, like the tree, and so yeah, Reese. If we call him Acorn, I feel like that'd be
another super chat. From Cast 324 Nova Open.
NOLA Open, yes, we did.
Can we bring it back?
I mean, we did do the New Orleans Open in 2021. It was logistically very challenging for our sort of structure to do. We would like to do something again in New Orleans. It's going to be a challenge though, just because
it is a cramped city. We'll call it that.
It's a cramped city, and we have to do it on downtown Bourbon Street, and there's not too many opportunities that fit us. Frontline Gaming events, we really use a lot of space, and there's not too many venues that can really accommodate us like that. But yes, so anyway, my son's name is Oak. If we can get another really good name, text me.
We do have another recommendation for a name in chat.
Oh yeah, wait. What about the dwarf Gortek? What's the dwarf name? Gortek. It's Gortek. What's the really badass dwarf name? Huh?
Gotrek.
Yeah, that guy. Come on. Wouldn't that be a badass name for a kid? Like, right? All right.
There are so many tree names in chat now.
All right, well, Seth, just give me the highlights real fast, please.
I'm liking TFG Radio's Douglas (fur). And then we have Scott (CH Pine), so Scotch Pine. Yeah.
These are good.
Yeah, there's some good ones there.
These are good. Well, I am open to suggestions. Not saying my wife is, but I am open to suggestions. Sorry, let's get back onto the survey results. Where else should we go from here? What was another topic you wanted to touch on?
So the next one we asked purely for curiosity. It had absolutely no impact on what we do, but we were just curious. And the question was, which style of game do you usually play? Crusade, match player, or open, basically, or whatever. I don't even remember what they call it. Free play. What's it called? No rules play?
We got open, we got matched, and we got narrative. I mean,
yeah, that's how stupid it is. I don't even know what it's called. Like the only people that play open play are like 10-year-old kids who don't know the rules, which is great. I've taught more people how to play 40K than most. Since obviously used to be on the floor in our store, and the kids just make shit up, which is great. It's super fun. But no, I don't think 99.9% of the people don't play it that way. So I've always been like, why do they waste ink and pages? Anyway, moving on. This is hilarious because I was expecting there to be a bias towards match play for obvious reasons. People filling out the survey, we just went to the biggest tournament in the world. Yeah. We've never, in almost 12 years of doing this, we've never, ever had a question that had 100% one answer, ever. Like, there's even someone that's just trolling you to say something weird. 100% of the people play match play. And, spoiler alert, the AOS survey is out, and 100% of them also only play match play. So I'm like, every time I see, like, some of this opinions that we get from the Games Workshop or, like, the match play communities in the minority, I'm like, our, like, caveman level market research say otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, that I would have expected, even if in the majority guys, because I ran into lots of guys just chatting that this was their first event that they came to, a first FLG event, so I could definitely have expected a few guys that were local Crusade players, but like, you know what, biggest event in the world, I got to go out and just do it. So I would have expected someone to have said Crusade, but 100% is 100%. Pretty spectacular.
Yeah, we literally never, ever, ever have we had any question get 100% one answer.
So
right?
Like, I have to bring a chat comment up. Sideways from Twitch says, does that mean we can stop putting Crusade rules in the middle of the codex?
Can they just put it at the end of the codex, please?
They did it. They put it at the end for World Eaters.
Okay, good.
I mean, narrative play is fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, I used to play narrative campaigns all the time when I was younger.
The scrap system in the Orc Codex looks hilariously fun.
Yeah. And I'm not dunking on open play, but I'm not dunking on narrative play at all. It's just, it was just really an interesting data point.
There are dedicated narrative players. Like at our tournaments, like we did have a basically sold out 40K narrative event that was really popular. We had a sold out Age of Sigmar narrative, but it's definitely, like, I think it's a certain player that's what they're playing. They're not jumping between match to narrative. Like there's a smaller at least at Frontline gaming events, they're tiny portions of our overall attendance are these narrative players that probably wouldn't play competitive.
Because even the super casual player, when he goes to the game store for a game, he's not going to craft a campaign on the spot. They're going to play a match play game.
Very true. Right? Very true. Very true.
So, it makes sense. It's not. It's just an interesting data point, and it was just funny. I was like, wow, 100%. All right. Terrain preferences. So the terrain section was the section that was the most interesting, and obviously it's also the hardest part of running tournaments that are of any size is terrain management. Like, not Kicker works his ass off, so I'm not trying to take anything away from him. But the crummiest part of running big events is terrain management. So this is always like, and in the past I painted literally all of the terrain. I didn't paint all of every piece of terrain, but I painted part of or all of every piece of terrain. So I was used to get super defensive and sensitive about it because I was like, how hard I worked.
With your babies,
yeah. And then, like, other people built it. I'm not trying to say I did it all. It's inaccurate. But I would literally work 16-hour days. Like, I would work 8 hours admin, 8 hours terrain for weeks or months on end. So I'd always get a little defensive. But it's critically important to a miniatures game to have good terrain. So this feedback is very, it's really important. But also, just to preface it so that people understand, the terrain rules change literally every edition, usually major changes. And so you have a situation, the example I always use is Adepticon, and those guys are my friends. I love them. I love what they built. I have nothing but respect for them. And they made gorgeous terrain in 5th edition. It was awesome. It was the jewel of the competitive scene. And then the rules radically changed from 5th into 6th, and all of a sudden their terrain was quote unquote not ideal for competitive play. And when you're in that sort of a scenario, years of work and God knows how much money, it's really difficult to steer. You can't turn the You're not doing a Tokyo drift with the Titanic.
Yeah.
right? So prefacing that, I want to jump into this. And the first question was, do you like the changes made to the Frontline Gaming player place terrain system, we'll call it PPT, going forward, to spare my voice? And 80% of the participants liked the changes to the PPT system.
80%. Damn, man.
Yeah. The Peralta distribution is extraordinarily common. Like the 80-20 rule is real.
Yeah.
So 4 out of 5 players liked the changes that we made to the player place terrain system to make it easier, etc. And a lot of the comments that we got were really polarized. Some people were like, I effing hate player place terrain, and then a lot of them were, I didn't know anything about it. I came in negative, and after game 3, I had the hang of it, and I actually like it.
Yeah.
And the funniest comments, the ones that always just kill me, because we get it in AOS too, was, I lost a bunch of games because of player place terrain. I'm like, so who put the terrain? You put the terrain down and you lost, and that's our fault. Like, all right, bro. But that always kills me because we get that a lot. Like, I lost because of this system. Well, should have put the terrain in a better spot, dude. I don't know what to tell you. But the changes were positively received. The next one, did you like the changes to the way the terrain functions? Specifically, questions like having line of sight blocking on the bottom floor. It was 85% yes, 15% no. And it's really strange how people attribute the magic box thing to us, to Frontline Gaming, because it's not. We took that rule straight out of GW. That was the way terrain worked in 40K forever. Like, for decades, that is exactly how terrain worked. It was abstracted. And personally, I think that having abstract terrain is better because you're not limited in how you physically build it, yeah. Right? So now the trend now is nothing but like L's that frequently don't even look like an actual building.
Yeah, not immersive at all.
And I'm not putting them down. They functionally, they work well, right? But for me, on a personal note, I'm sorry to go into the weeds on this, but I think context is important. I think that the rules should allow terrain that evokes the setting. And when your rules don't allow for buildings that look like the art, there's a problem with the rules. Yeah. Clearly, that's not something we have control over, and you need terrain that works to play the game. And that's why I think abstraction is a positive, because it allows you to make creative and cool terrain that functions for the game. And we've sort of gotten away from that in the past, I'd say 5 years, where it's like, the GW was like, oh, it needs to function exactly as it looks. And it gets really weird, Their own terrain that they make is horrible for true line of sight. It's gorgeous terrain, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't function with their own rule set. So it's like, if I had a magic wand, I would just go in and change the rules to add in some abstraction, but all good. So anyway, sorry for the rant. That was extremely well received. 5 out of 6 people said that they liked it. The next question is really interesting. Obviously, there's some bias because these are people that came to our event. What system for terrain do you normally use? 57% said they used player place terrain, PPT. 18% said they use terrain that's preset, so every single table is the same. And then 22% said they use terrain maps similar to the GW series of events. So obviously there's going to be a bias towards our system for people that are coming to the LVO, but I found that to be interesting. It's a matter of personal taste, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. I never liked it from a modeling and hobby perspective when every table was the same. And maybe it's because I'm an old grognard and I used to go to events where every table was handmade and every table was like either total shit because they were being lazy or it was a work of art. And it was like, this is Eldar world with, trees that I made and all this sort of stuff. So standardization is definitely more RTS, like StarCraft competitive. And I understand from a game balance perspective why very competitive players would prefer that. I totally get it. But the hobbyist and artist in me has always been like, I feel like you lose a lot when you're just playing on the exact same map over and over again.
Yeah, especially if it's at LVO, you got six, maybe 9 rounds. You want to have a little variety, and I mean, that's not just me speaking. That's a lot of players, and maybe not the most competitive players, but that's a lot of players coming up and saying, "Hey, like I actually enjoy playing on an orc field and then playing on, a Gothic ruins." Like, it adds a little variety so that you're not playing 6 rounds the same kind of terrain all day long. Now, yes, you're right. It does. It's not StarCraft, right? It does create some issues where there's variability, right? So but you got to kind of balance it all, right? We want people to have that good experience where they don't get bored of playing on the same train. What about you, Seth? I mean, do you like playing on the same train? If you're going to a 6-round or 9-round event, I mean, do you want some variety?
I think that some standardization is good, but I certainly like having some variety, both aesthetically and sake of argument. I'm just going to abstract numbers. Let's say there's 4 ruins on one table, and then 2 forests and 2 sets of crates and 2 sets of craters, and then the next table is 6 ruins and a forest and no crates and 1 set of craters. Like a little variation between, I think, works well. I'm always a proponent of different events having different terrain systems because that makes it interesting.
Cool. Yeah.
In my mind, if the entire world used one terrain system, this would be a boring game because after about a month, someone would figure out these are the 2 or 3 most optimal lists for that terrain setup, and that's all you would see across every event.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
that's me. I want variety.
You hit the nail on the head. Like the most competitive players want to eliminate all variables, right? Like that is the objective because then it becomes more a game of skill. The more variability you have, the more it shoots and ladders, the more it's chess, right? So that like even if the most competitive players or competitively oriented players aren't consciously aware of it, that is where that comes from, right? But the thing I always would harp on is what drew you into this game.
Good point. Yeah.
It was the art and the lore and the models. And like when you see a dope table that's thematic, it really evokes something special. And I know for sure from having done pooling for a decade plus now, the average player does like that. But I 100% understand the sentiment behind wanting standardization because then it feels more like a sport. And there's room for both. Like there's neither is wrong, right? It's just
And there are definitely some folks in chat pointing out that having set fixed terrain layouts does allow for better preparation. And I think that can still be achieved in a player play system when we have a packet with exactly what are the sets that are going to be out there.
Yeah. Right, and that's exactly it. What does that mean, better prepare? It means you're solving one part of the equation. And like the end state of that is less variability. And again, I'm not saying that's bad. Like as a competitive person, I get it. I totally get it, and it's not wrong at all. But you end up with less. The environment dictates the lists that you bring, and when you have less variables or you've solved for more variables, you end up with more of the same stuff, right? Yeah. So
I think it needs to be said, guys, just for those that are questioning some of the decisions that are made at Frontline Gaming events, specifically the LVO, that we don't actually have the option really of, are we going to use all the same terrain? We have to use whatever terrain we have just to accommodate the massive number of players. So Frontline Gaming doesn't have one set we can just use for 500 tables. We literally have to use the full range, and we were making terrain up till the week of LVO to make sure we had enough. So maybe in a dream state, we will be able to provide enough terrain so that if we want to run every single table the exact same thing, we could do that. But at this point, it's just not feasible.
Just to give it context, well, first of all, we're going to give people what they want. My opinion on it is largely irrelevant, right? I'm expressing my opinion as a gamer. Our job is to give people what they want, and if every single person or the majority of people says we want this, we're going to do it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how that line of sight first floor came into effect for LVO. A lot of the community asked for that, and it took some time, but we applied it to our rule set.
Totally. And like I just express my desires and my likes as a gamer to add context and flavor, right? Because it's easy to get into an echo chamber where you forget that the average person that comes to the LVO is not online. They're not in a chat room or a Discord or a Facebook group. They're playing with their friends, and then they come and they have a good time, right? So it's easy to forget that or to lose perspective, and that's why we do the polling, right? And then, yeah, at the end of the day, if I'm going to go play in the narrative, right, so be it, and you can have a great time doing that too. But also to give some context to this so that people understand how insane this is. If you built one full set of terrain every workday for the entire year, you would not cover half of the 40K champs. Imagine building an entire set of terrain 5 days a week for the entire year without missing a single day. You would not cover half of 40K champs. That's how insane it is to pivot when you get to scale.
So I feel obliged to ask a question that's come up a few times in chat. There were some concerns expressed that some of the terrain at the event was not in the player packet.
Yeah, that's a 100% valid critique. Like we took that to heart, and that's going to be fixed. And just so everybody understands, too, the team, like Leo, Frankie, Mike, the terrain team, they're already working on it now. Like they're still recovering from LVO, and they're already working on it. So we listen to everything. So if you go to one of our events, please fill out the form because we take it to heart. Like 100% our job is to give you the event that you want, right?
Good.
Like that's what we exist for. So we are rolling out a plan to like, okay, how can we increase the amount of terrain that we can make in a year? But also it's like, it's really disheartening when the rules change and you spent unbelievable amounts of time, energy, and money to make something that then is considered to be bad. So you're trying to hit a moving target and you can't. It's really, like I said, terrain management is the hardest part of large scale events.
I'm very glad to hear that you guys have heard that concern and are moving forward with ways to address it. That is,
and Seth, Reese mentioned the terrain team, Frankie, Leo, and Mike. All three of those guys are like, well, everyone at Frontline Gaming is a gamer, right? We're a gamer first, and then we join Frontline Gaming as a job. But Leo, Mike, and Frankie, they're all like competitive players that really want to make good terrain for a competitive event. So please know that it's in good hands. It's just balancing all the factors, all the players, and what resources we have available.
Now, I'm saying this as a good friend of Leo's. Have we considered just locking him in like a storage unit with a bunch of sets until he builds it all?
Well,
and like sliding food under the door occasionally?
I know you're joking, but it's like Leo is a manager. He works his ass off, and like we had a ton of volunteers and people. My girlfriend made 30 sets of terrain, right? And
she was there putting on all the stickers for all the table numbers the day before the event.
She worked super hard. Like we literally draw every person possible in, and like that's another good point. Like imagine we're running a business where everyone's working their ass off. It's a small company. Everyone's got 3 jobs. If someone's taking 4 hours a day to work on terrain, they're on the clock and they're not doing other things, right? So again, I'm not making excuses. I'm just trying to give people an idea of how Herculean the effort is to even add one piece of terrain to every table. You know, it's insane how difficult it is, but we are working on it, but we are rolling out a plan and we're going to continue to strive to give people exactly what they want. On that note, the new table, which we haven't named, so we'll just call it Battle Sisters terrain for lack of a Nuns with Gun terrain. We asked people like, hey, like we built this based on player feedback, right? Like we tried to make a set of terrain that looked cool, thematic, and functional, and the feedback was overwhelmingly positive.
Cool.
Like, people really liked it. The Chaos-y set is also extremely popular.
Yes.
So our goal is to roll into more sets like that to make them as much as we can. We're honestly going to have to probably hire someone part-time just to sit there and do it. It's, you know, factor that into your mind of like the cost of all this stuff. It's insane. So that we can give people what they want, you know?
Reese, do you have another point on the survey that we want to make sure we touch on before we wrap it up for the night? Because I know Seth, and Seth, please see if there's any other big questions we have to address.
I'm keeping my eye on chat. It's
Oh,
coming
hey,
real quick.
guys, I'm sorry. I'm used to being
No.
able to ramble as long as I want.
You're not in show practice, sir.
Yeah.
But we'll let it slide.
I am sorry for being overly loquacious here.
Yeah, it's really good, man.
So I'll wrap really quick on terrain. My personal grognardy feelings aside, we're going to give you what you want. Count on that. The majority of players did say that they liked it. It was not as big of a percentage as I would have liked. It was 70% positive. And well, that's still good. It's not where we want to be. So we're working really hard already to shore up any weaknesses. And the most important point of feedback, 93% of people said they enjoyed themselves.
Good.
Yeah, only 1 person. No, I'm sorry. Only less than 10 people said they really didn't have fun. And that's less than one. That's a what is that?
I'm sorry for those people.
Sorry.
Hopefully we can remedy that in the future. But I'm glad the vast bulk had a good time.
Good.
Yeah. So less than 1% of the audience attendees didn't enjoy themselves. I don't think you can do better than 99%.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it at that. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk so long.
It's okay. It's okay.
One other one really quick, because
sure.
this one came up a bunch, is there was this very small but vocal amount of people that their opinion is totally valid, and I'm not trying to put them down, that were saying they wanted to play all 9 games. So just so you know, and this every single year it's the exact same way, over 85% of the respondents said they did not want to play that many games. 1 in 6 people said they did. 5 in 6 people said they didn't. We'll see if we can come up with some kind of a middle ground.
And there's always optional systems on Sunday. There's the Sunday RTTs. I think for Cherokee Kicker, you have the narrative now going on Sunday.
Yeah. So Cherokee, which is crazy. I mean, we added a narrative just because, maybe you want a palate cleanser, right? Something different from competitive play. The Cherokee narrative is legitimately a full scale event now. I'm like, wow, I just thought we were gonna have 2 or 3 guys playing. No,
it's a super major, baby.
Right.
We're up to 270 or something like that. It's crazy.
Now, Reese, I did have some feedback from chat that I think is very important. The Hobby Goblin said it's hard to focus on what Reese is saying without the supporting chants or air horns from the AOS guys.
I love those guys so much because the awards ceremony, I have to read so many awards. And I'm tired. Those guys make it so much fun. So gosh, like Emperor bless the AOS guys.
Yeah, what we're talking about, guys, for those that were not at the LVO award ceremony, is that the award ceremony is really, it's so much fun thanks to the Age of Sigmar community. Every game system has its own kind of cultural norms or whatnot, but it's a clear, no brainer here that the Age of Sigmar community is by far the most fun community in tabletop. Period. Like there's no question about that. So thank you guys for always keeping the award ceremony interesting. Seth, do you want to hop into and please stick around? We're going to jump into I guess the ITC recap from 2023. Do you want to jump into that real fast?
I can. I hope I still have that window open.
I hope you still have it there. Just because I think that people that have made it all the way through an entire year want to.
There we go.
I got it. But let's.
Yep. Let's get through this, folks. I'm not going to do all the faction awards because we'll be here till 12 tonight. Which I guess is only 10 for Reese, so all right, that might be better.
But at the LBO, you get to do it twice for 2 games.
That's true. You did do it twice. Good job. So ITC end of season rankings for the competitive track. As expected, our number 1 was Jack Harpster, followed closely by the previous number 1 up until that fateful LVO. Number 2, Vic VJ. Number 3, hopping up several spots, was Mike Porter. And then number 4, David Gaylord. And number 5, Nassim Fuchain. That means that 4 of your top 5 were European. So the British invasion took place. Number 6, Thomas Ogden. Number 7, John Lennon. Number 8, Innes Wilson. Number 9, Colin McDade. And number 10, squeaking in there, Anthony Vanella. Heading down to our hobby track, our number 1 there is the illustrious Matt Aaron. Number 2, Andrew Gagno. Number 3, Kevin Grubbs. Number 4, friend of the show, Jacob Thayer. Number 5, Dean Pritchard. Number 6, friend of Kickers, Lou Rollins. Number 7, Aaron Kelman. Number 8, Eric Mullins. Number 9, Lee Steiger. And number 10, Kasra Hosherdar. I wasn't ready for that one, bud. Yeah, sorry about that. Going over to AOS, we have a repeat champion. Our number 1 is Gavin Greigar.
All right.
Number 2, Jinwa Noah Singh, which I believe Jinwa won the AOS
Yes.
LVO. So that jumped him up to the second place spot. Number 3, Caleb Walters. Number 4, Anthony Trentinelli. Number 5, Rajana. Number 6, Matt Beasley. Number 7, Nate Trentinelli. Didn't even see Nate was on the list before. So good job, Nate. Number 8, Jeremy Vizier. Number 9, Thomas Kwan. And number 10, Michael Viganos. And then hopping down to AOS Hobby, our number 1 is Jeremy Williams. Number 2, Ricky Fisher. Number 3, Robert Snyder. Number 4, Nick Garcia. Number 5, Lucas McConnell. Number 6, Matt Beasley. Number 7, Anthony Trentinelli. Number 8, Gabriel Pacheco. Number 9, Russ Tanner. And number 10, Marlon Orlando. And that is your ITC recap for the season.
Is it Martin Orlando? Might be Martin Orlando. That's okay.
It is Martin Orlando.
Okay.
Did I not say Martin?
He's a buddy of mine. It's good. Yeah. It's cool.
Okay. Well, yes. Yes, that is Martin Orlando. So that is the recap.
Awesome, guys. Congratulations to all. Reese, you got to ask you, man, isn't it impressive to see that this ITC that you and Frankie basically created, years back, now you've got people competing on a global scale, right? Like I think, Seth, you said 4 out of the top 5
were
40K were international.
6 of the top 10 were from the UK.
Jeez, That's awesome, right? That's so cool that this has become such a global thing.
The UK scene has gone bananas.
Exploding, yes.
Zach over there has really led the charge, and they have so many big events now.
Yeah, with it's like the UKTC is his series of events over there, and they have definitely gone gangbusters.
Very, very cool. Well, Reese, thank you so much for coming on. Do you have any last words of wisdom you want to share here, man?
Thank you so much to everybody that participated this year and made it special. Thanks to everybody who came to the LVO. Thanks to everybody that gave your feedback. That it genuinely is what we like. That's like our playbook for the next year. So we really appreciate it. And thank you to you guys for carrying the torch for Signals. After 1,000 podcasts, I was ready for a break, man.
Good.
Seth and I, before we leave you guys for the night, I think Seth and I want to share that we have a bunch of fun stuff coming up. It's a new year, new season of Signals. Seth has got a very special segment. Tell them about the new segment you're going to be doing.
So if you check out my YouTube channel, I've already talked about it a little bit, but we're going to be partnering with Vanguard Tactics. I'm trying to be best orc for the next season, and so they're going to come on and help do some coaching with me. We're going to try to do some segments with them, kind of showing you guys what that process is.
We're going to try.
If you enjoyed the podcast series, The Best General, we're going to try to go in that vein. So hopefully everyone can kind of take something away from this series and learn from it.
Seth's weekly update as he goes through the gauntlet and gears himself up for battle. We're going to keep a jank of the week as well, because we know you guys love those crazy rules we discover. Of course, Hobby Progress and Tech Breeze Sticky is going to spontaneously surprise us with randomness. So it's going to be a new season of Signals, and it's going to be a shit ton of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Well, I think that's about it. Any final thoughts from anyone tonight?
No, I'm just happy about Reese on, man. It's been it's been too long, Reese. We got to have you on more often.
It's been good to have the OG back. It was great having you, man. I can remember listening to when it was an audio podcast and I could hear buses in the background. So I am just excited to be here, man. So thanks for coming on. But with that being said, thank you so much for joining us for this episode from the Signals from the Frontline. Have a great week. We will see you next Wednesday, and take it away, Steve Joel.
Well, I just heard the news today, how my care is gonna change. All the old detachments are thrown away. When LVO's is done, we can start to play with Octavo Men. Can't get my list right. Just look at all my toys. Could take everything with Octavo Men. With Octavo Men. Well, Art of War and Vanguard Steve, gonna watch your shows, 'cause I need to see a list from Lennon, Siegler strategy. 'Cause all I know is now my guns are free with arcs of Omen. I'll take the melters, rip off all those arms, put hammers on everything with arcs of Omen. We loved Inceptors for 10 minutes. We ran them, then they're nerfed again with arcs of Omen. Of Omen. And you know that shell where my army's been. You can put your nails, and then for your sins, pack up all those boats and your harlequins and go back to town or iron hands again with arcs of Omen. This all reminds me of when they cut the mats and it changed everything with arcs of Omen. And all the points drops bring on more tier lists than we've ever seen with arcs of Omen. With arcs of Omen.